for the First in Michigan Robotics event hosted by Spring Arbor University and sponsored by Consumers Energy. We have Jackson Area Career Center student and Jacktown Vectors team member Charlotte Riedemann, along with two of her sponsors from Consumers Energy, Senior Public Information Director Terry Didos and Director of Enterprise Resource and Workforce Planning Megan Hayward. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
Nice to see y'all. And Terry, since we have you with us today, I hope you wouldn't mind giving a bit of an update to our viewers on the storm restoration efforts.
Not at all. Since last Wednesday, when the ice storm first hit Michigan, impacting southern Michigan the hardest, and then went through West Michigan yesterday, we've had more than 385,000 customers impacted. We've got about 70,000 total left to restore, and we're focused primarily right now on those customers in southern Michigan where they've been out going on five days. And we've got 600 crews working on the system, our crews, contractors, and those contractors also include crews from 4 different states, focused on southern Michigan, getting those customers who have been impacted the longest restored. Currently, the estimated time of restoration for all the customers is noon tomorrow before we pull those crews up to start joining the other crews that are already working up in West Michigan and a line across through Flint.
All right, the lights at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Unfortunately, with the estimated restoration times, they have been pushed back due to the crews getting out and seeing that the damage was worse than what our model was showing. And unfortunately, that's resulted in those estimated restoration times for customers being pushed back. We apologize for that frustration. We know that's not a positive experience, and we're working to improve that for future storms.
And it seems like this was an historic winter storm.
It was, yeah. It's not touching the largest storm we had, which had over 600,000 customers a long time ago, even before I was at Consumers. But this is one of our larger, historically speaking, storms.
All right, well, let's hope history doesn't repeat itself.
That's right.
We're gearing up for robotics. And Charlotte, we talked a little bit, I think last week or so, about getting ready for this coming robotics competition at Spring Arbor. And you weren't quite ready a week ago. How's the Jacktown Vectors doing right now?
Yeah, we're doing amazing. We're doing better than we thought we were, especially with the outage. Our career center, where we build the robot and do everything there, it lost power, so we ended up taking it to my house because we were lucky enough to keep power. And so we worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the robot, making sure it was programmed correctly, making sure like the arm was correct, everything was good. And then we brought it back to the Career Center on Monday, and we got to drive it around, and it's working. It's doing all the things it should, and I think we're pretty good. We're pretty ready.
Awesome. Megan, why is the robotics so important to Consumers Energy?
Well, Bart, I think you kind of just heard what Charlotte shared about how their ingenuity and creativity comes right out. Mm-hmm. Typically, we see all of that hard work and problem solving from week 1 of competition all the way up through 7, but they even got it the week ahead of time, trying to figure out how else to do their objective. And so that problem solving, that creativity, and their teamwork, those are the skills we want at Consumers, and that's why we're invested in that talent pipeline. I mean, we'd be really lucky to have Charlotte come work with us, but that talent we'll have hopefully in a year, in 4 years, in 10 years. That's why we support First Robotics, and those are the students we want at our company. Yeah,
almost an ulterior motive on your company's part to find future employees.
Oh, and they're going to be employees in every facet of our company. Engineers, they are operators. Some are working in our accounting teams, marketing, kind of the whole spectrum, because they learn all those skills in their teams.
Terry, do you think robotics will have any use in public information?
Well, yeah, we're seeing that folks that are well-versed, have those STEM skills, are great in front of the camera. So, yeah, I see a future there in front of the camera.
We're all going to be at Spring Arbor University. It's March this weekend.
Yes.
Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
All right. So I got to see you last year competing in this. So for those who haven't been, and anyone's welcome to come out and watch, right? Kind of give us a layout of what the weekend is going to be like at Spring Arbor University while we take a look at some shots from last year's event.
Yeah,
Feel free to jump in.
we get up super early. We go to the competition. We get everything set up in the pit the day before, so everything's already done. We make sure everything's set. We get our energy up so we can participate in these kind of activities that you're seeing right now. And then we fix things because they always break. But we're working the whole day, watching the matches, fixing anything that needs to be fixed, helping other teams if they need anything. Overall, it's one of the best experiences. It's so much fun.
Terry, what would you describe the atmosphere is like at these robotics competitions?
Oh, it's like a three-ring circus. There's activity everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's competition going on. I went to this last year. It was tough to follow, but it was very exciting. I was impressed that there were people watching that could actually tell what was going on with what teams, because there's so much going on. It's hard to figure out where to focus. I would encourage people to come down and just be amazed and entertained. I mean, it's amazing to look at what's going on out there and know that these were students that are making all this happen.
Do you have like a backup robot, or you put all your eggs in one basket?
Oh no. We actually have currently 2 robots, B1 and B2. So the B1 is the first one that we build. It's basically just like a rough draft. Mm-hmm. We get everything on there that we want to get on there just to make sure everything's in the frame parameters, everything's working as we want it to. And then we start working on our B2, which is our competition robot. And after we get everything set on that, we start making spare parts. So we have like, I want to say 2 boxes of spare parts. So we build basically, I want to say like 3 copies of the robot. Like last year we had an intake and it broke during one of our competitions. And we were like, oh man, that sucks. We have another one though. And so we just took that one off, put it on, and then it was fine.
No problem.
Right? Yeah.
Megan, we're seeing the robotics get into lower and lower grades. Even kindergartners are getting into robotics. As a company, you've invested heavily in robotics, both in sponsorship of First of Michigan Robotics, but also in the various schools that are offering robotics. Tell us about your commitment to First Michigan Robotics.
So Consumers is committed and has been committed to robotics in general around the state, from our leadership all the way through the company. I think it's since 2013 we've committed, up till this season, Consumers Energy Foundation has committed $1.8 million towards robotics around the state. It's just incredible, and it's through different communities, through different programs. And First in Michigan is one that drives some of the most strong teams and behaviors. Mm-hmm. So that's why we've been committed. We're so excited to be the presenting sponsor again at Spring Arbor University. And from a young age, it starts with those elementary students. And pretty soon, they're going to be these high school students and future employers around our community. They build and make Jackson stronger. So that's what's really exciting. And they're finding new challenges each day to solve.
Yeah, we see there's a lot of robotics in use in manufacturing facilities right here in Jackson County.
Yes, there is.
Today.
In addition to the financial support from the Consumers Energy Foundation, you have enthusiastic engineers like Megan who love passing along those STEM talents, and we have mentors and we have coaches and all kinds of volunteers that are pitching in at these events, not only in Spring Arbor but around the state as well.
I'm quite excited. So for those that don't know, the competition is 3 teams against 3 teams. They make an alliance. And I'm very happy because we'll have a lot of Consumers Energy volunteers as coaches. And I don't know which team to choose for or cheer for, because I'm hoping they're all on the same alliance, because we do have a lot of really great volunteers.
Yeah.
So if somebody would like to go to Spring Arbor and watch, what time does it start on Friday? Anyone?
I believe
You probably
opening.
have to get up at 5 or something.
Yeah, we get up really early, so I'm not exactly sure what time it starts.
I
It's
believe,
all- I
I
think
believe
we-
opening ceremonies might be 9:30 on Friday and 10:30 on Saturday.
Okay.
Right about that time, you might be able to hear the big introduction, feel the big excitement build, and then watch all the matches.
Now, in the shots, we saw people dressed like airline pilots. We saw it's like costumes, and there's even mascots. Some of the teams have mascots. What's all that?
It's basically just a way to get everyone really excited about being there. So every team has their own theme. Our team is Jacktown Vectors, like direction and magnitude, but also in the past it has been like Vector from Minions, from Gru, like all that stuff. So we, you might see someone in a Minion costume or in a Vectors costume. Just know that's us.
Are there new teams participating? Is it intimidating for for a school or a robotics team to jump in now when so many teams like the Career Center have been doing this for so long?
I could see it being kind of intimidating, but FIRST is very supportive of other teams. One of the main things is gracious professionalism. Doing with that, it's like helping other teams, making sure they're set. We have a new team this year for the JPEG school. They unfortunately weren't able to get any batteries for their robot in time. So they have a robot, but they don't have any batteries to work it. And we are lucky enough, we have 48 batteries. So we are lending them, I believe, 10 of them, just to help other teams. And we always have extra parts, any tools any teams might need. Last year, Grass Lake had an issue with their robot. They didn't have time to make bumpers. So we went out and we helped them make bumpers, and that's just a couple of examples of like how you try to help other new teams.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was there last year. You all have your like pits. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
So you're all there, but you're
Helping each other.
communicating and
Yeah.
interacting with one another. It's
Yeah.
not like basketball where the coach, holds the clipboard over his mouth. You're freely sharing.
Yeah, so our team participates in a website called Chief Delphi. So we try to post twice every week on there, just like updating anybody who follows us, like what we've been doing that week, what we're gonna do the next week. I'm in charge of that, so we make sure that any teams can see like what we've been up to, and if they need any help, they can post on there, just ask any questions they'd like.
Well, that's awfully generous. A generous spirit amongst the robotics teams. Now, last week when you were here, I asked you about your shirt because this is last year's shirt, and I guess this year's shirt won't be unveiled until this weekend.
Yes. But we do have a little sneak peek. We have a button here. This is what our logo is going to look like this year. They should be coming in on Wednesday or Thursday, so we'll have them for the robotics competition. And then this is actually for you, so you can
wow.
keep this.
Awesome. So, am I an honorary member of the Vectors?
Yes, that's the second pin we ever made, so it's very
wow.
special.
Great. So you make your own pins too? Mm-hmm. Multi-talented.
We do it all.
Yeah. And Megan, you brought something too.
Yes, in case you want to put that pin on a wonderful shirt, what it says is powering the future. And this is what Consumers Energy thinks about all of these wonderful students we'll be cheering on and supporting this weekend.
Awesome. So we've got so many exciting things happening in the state and really in our area with last week's announcement that giant automotive battery plant is going to be built in Marshall. The workforce for that and all these other companies, they hopefully are coming, they're going to be homegrown.
You'll see them all this coming weekend at Spring Arbor.
There you go. Well, great to see you guys. Thanks for coming in. Good luck to the Vectors.
Thank you.
And thanks for sponsoring our students.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you
Thank
for having
you
us.
so much.
Thank you.
From the Jacktown Vectors, Charlotte Riedemann, along with Consumers Energy's Terry Ditos and Megan Hayward. Up next on the show,